Okay, young man, tell me your name and what city are you from?
My name is Carl, and I'm from London, Ontario.
All right, Carl, so tell me what kind of health issues brought you into our office here?
Oh, geez. Well, it started about a year and a half ago. I started getting tingling in my hands, my feet, in my face, and don't like to get political and not to make it about that, but it started within 36 hours of the first Pfizer vaccine shot. And, I even went and got the second shot 5 weeks later because I just figured it'd be something that would go away. And then here I am, a year and a half later, it continued to progress. I'm a golfer. I was having troubles walking because my feet were so numb. It even impacted driving. It was hard to feel the pedals in my car, so it got to the point where I was starting to wonder whether I was going to have to stop driving. And well, again, I'm a golfer, and so holding my golf clubs was very hard because of the tingling in my hands. I even had to get, large grips put on my clubs. It was almost like that people get when they have arthritis. To try and accommodate, because this is one of my passions, and I kept playing, but it was very challenging, and it was really impacting my life.
So how did you initially hear about our office? I think you went to a seminar, is that correct?
I did. I actually saw a posting about neuropathy on Facebook.
Probably?
Yeah, on
okay.
Facebook. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to go and hear what you have to say. My doctor, it was kind of like at a dead end. Neurology in London, Ontario kind of refused my referral, which was mind-blowing to me. I think even confusing to my doctor, but lots been going on, lots of weird things for me, the way I see things in the healthcare system in Canada, and I think maybe a lot of it has to do with budgeting, but who knows? Anyways, my doctor had no more answers for me, so I was really looking on my own. And when I saw that your seminar was coming into town, I thought, well, there's no harm in going to meet you, and I liked the fact that we could have a conversation about this, and you kind of shared whether you thought that no guarantees, but that, you kind of did a pre-assessment as to whether it was worth coming to Michigan to actually have a full assessment to determine whether you thought you could help or not.
Yeah.
So it really kind of came with, obviously hopeful, but no expectations, because every avenue I'd gone down up till now was the doors were slammed in my face. There was hey, there's nothing we can do for you, sorry. And as a 54-year-old man, that's pretty terrifying. It was causing a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, because what does this mean for my life, right? You work all your life to look forward to your retirement years, and I was starting to worry about what that was going to look like for me.
What kind of discussions were you having at that point in time with your wife in regards to what's going on? What were her thoughts on this? Was she as concerned as you? What was she saying?
She was concerned, probably not as concerned as me, because being a typical man, I didn't share everything with her. I didn't tell her exactly how I was feeling. So, there was many nights, though, that when I head to bed, I wouldn't say kept me awake all night, but your mind's going there, right?
Sure.
You're worried about, is this ever going to get better? Well, actually, for me, it was still continuing to get worse.
Boy.
So I was like, where's this going? What's, I won't lie. There was even some elements where I actually started putting kind of, plans in place just in case, because I didn't know what was going on. It was kind of terrifying, when your body, it just felt like my body was shutting down. It was stopping to do what I wanted it to do.
You came in here, we did the assessment. We said there was really good likelihood we could help you, but like you said, we didn't guarantee anything. Now, you went through the care and everything. What kind of response have you had, and how are things different now?
Oh, I was actually a little bit surprised how well my feet responded, because we started with the feet. There's a lot of diligence, and listen, it takes commitment. I mean, if you want to get better, it's not magic. It's not like there's a magic potion that's going to happen, and it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to do some work, and so I did. It was using the therapies every morning and night, and taking the supplements that I needed to take, and literally within, I guess, about 6 to 8 weeks, my feet had gone from I guess we use a scale, right? When we're talking about this, so anybody who's seen this wouldn't necessarily know what we're talking about on a scale, but if we're talking about on a scale of 0 to 10, the feelings and the usage of my feet was probably at about a 3 or a 4 at the beginning, and today. We just did a reassessment today, and my feet were, my left foot I'd probably say is almost normal, completely back to normal. My right foot is really, really close to that same stage. And, and now we're putting a lot of emphasis on the hands. There's been some improvement in the hands, but I've not, I've had some personal challenges in the last 6 weeks that have made me not be able to be as diligent with my hands as I was with my feet. But turning that corner now, and I'm going to keep working on it. But I would say that my hands, if they were at a 3 or 4 at the beginning, they're probably at about a 6 right now. I mean, I'm able to, I take golf lessons. I hit balls probably twice a week indoors right now through the winter. And I'm actually able to do it now, whereas back last summer when I was hitting balls, I actually would go into the driving range and only get a small bucket because I couldn't hit a large bucket because my hands would just be too sore by the end of it. So I had to scale back, whereas right now I'm hitting balls, went the other day and was there for an hour and probably hit 120 golf balls, and I had no problems. My hands felt the same coming out as they did going in.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, and we anticipate within anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, you're probably going to be, who knows, we'll see what happens, but we anticipate at least 75-80% with your hands, and then just take a little bit more time, and you should do it as well as you did with your feet. So big changes coming in regards to that. Is there anything else that you would say to anyone who, most people are watching, they're struggling, their doctors tell them there's nothing you can do, it's neuropathy, you gotta live with it, here's a cane walker wheelchair. What would you say to those people that are struggling for answers?
Listen, if you're Canadian, for example, I know Americans might be watching this too, but in Canada, we have a free healthcare system. So we think that, well, if I can't get help there, I probably can't get help anywhere. And I would just say to people is that this is your life. And, I don't know about reincarnation or where you go when it's all over, but I look at it that this is my one go. And, when my wife and I came here and being Canadian, we're not used to paying for healthcare. And, when you asked me to pull out a credit card for some money, I was hesitant only because, it's my family's money, my wife's money, and it was my wife who said, we have to do this, we have to do this for your health so that we can live a good life in retirement. There's lots that we want to do together. We actually want to move to Mexico, and I want to go sailing, and I want to, have a hobby cat and do lots of fun things. If I can't walk and can't use my hands, those things aren't going to be doable. So, my wife said, we don't have a choice. Let's do this. And I don't mind saying it. That day, it was kind of feel like I was putting my money in a slot machine, or a roulette wheel and spinning the wheel. There was no guarantees. I had no clue, but I had to do it, and I have no regrets.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that story. We really appreciate it, and best to you and your family for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.